Look closely at these images. They capture the beginning of a moment that would change lives forever. Two employees at a gas station in Israel walk toward the entrance and look down the road. What they see in the distance instantly fills them with fear. Something is very wrong. One of them watches carefully. The other steps closer and freezes when he understands. There is no doubt. Armed men are moving straight toward them. Security cameras record every second of this critical moment. Panic sets in. Both men step back quickly, trying to find a way out. They rush inside the store as the attackers continue advancing. Heavily armed militants are heading toward an isolated gas station near the border. What happens next is extraordinary and requires context to fully understand. To grasp this moment, we need to rewind a few hours. It was the morning of October 7, 2023, a Saturday around 6:30 a.m. Across Israel, families were celebrating a religious holiday filled with joy. Many people were still asleep. Others were returning from a music festival. It was supposed to be a peaceful day, but a violent assault was about to begin. At that hour, a coordinated attack was launched on a massive scale. Thousands of rockets were fired toward cities in just minutes. While civilians rushed to shelters, something far worse was unfolding. Attackers breached the security barrier at dozens of locations. They entered by land, air, and sea, using vehicles and light equipment. Thousands crossed into Israeli territory, targeting roads and communities. The goal was panic, mass casualties, and kidnappings, and it succeeded. Multiple towns and villages were hit at the same time. A music festival turned into a scene of chaos and desperate escape. By the end of the day, hundreds of civilians were dead or taken hostage. Defense forces took hours to respond to the scale of the assault. It was during this chaos that the gas station became a target. The station sat near the border and appeared ordinary in every way. That morning, only 2 employees were working there. The area was considered relatively safe until that moment. When distant explosions were heard, they turned on the television. The news confirmed it. The country was under widespread attack. They looked at each other, knowing danger could reach them next. Soon after, they spotted vehicles moving quickly toward the station. Men stood in truck beds, wearing tactical clothing and carrying weapons. Around 20 attackers were converging directly on the gas station. There was no time to escape. The road and the open land offered no cover. Any attempt to flee would have meant certain death. Trapped with no options, an extreme idea emerged. One of them opened the door to a large cold storage room in the back. It was an industrial freezer used for drinks and frozen supplies. Without hesitation, they ran inside and shut the door behind them. Outside, the attackers arrived firing their weapons. Security footage shows bullets tearing through shelves and products. They searched the store looking for people, but found no one. Unaware of the hiding place, they began looting whatever they could. Inside the freezer, the cold was relentless.
Avi and Omar were used to the cold. They had worked in that industrial freezer near the border for years. It was their job, stacking boxes of frozen meat, taking inventory, making sure everything stayed at the right temperature. But one thing was controlled cold. Another was the cold of death. They were inside the massive freezer, which felt like a warehouse made of ice. Avi, the older one, was checking a batch on the top shelf, while Omar, the new kid, was working near the floor. It was a simple, careless mistake. Distracted, Omar brushed against the safety latch on the heavy door. The dull asterisk clack asterisk echoed through the frozen silence. Hey Omar, did you lock the door? Avi asked, hurrying down. Omar tried to turn the handle. Nothing. The door, designed to seal the outside world away, had sealed them inside. It won't open, Avi. The pin must have dropped. The panic didn't come all at once. First came irritation. They shouted and pounded their fists against the steel wall. They knew lunch was still an hour away. Someone would come. But the cold doesn't wait. It creeps in through the solace of your feet, climbs up your legs, and attacks your chest. Within 15 minutes, their teeth were chattering. We need to keep moving, Avi said, rubbing his arms. If we stop, we'll turn into popsicles. They began rearranging the boxes, using physical effort to generate heat. Omar grabbed a large piece of cardboard that had fallen from a package and tried to line the floor, insulating it from the moisture. It was in the middle of that effort, as Avi panted while trying to move a heavy pallet, that they heard it. It wasn't the familiar hum of the freezer, nor the noise of delivery trucks. It was distant, but it carried the weight of metal and urgency. Asterisk ********* sharp gunfire. Avi stopped breathing. Omar froze, ironically ignoring the cold already burning his ears. What was that? Omar whispered. It sounds like a machine gun, Avi replied, his voice hoarse. He was a reservist. He knew that sound. It happened again, closer this time, followed by a deep boom, as if something heavy had exploded. The freezer, meant to insulate against heat, now acted like a resonance box for the terror unfolding outside. For a moment, they forgot about the locked door. The external danger was invisible but tangible. They were caught between cold that killed slowly and violence that killed fast. We're near the border, Avi, near the kibbutz. Avi didn't need Omar to finish the sentence. He knew what it meant. The attack everyone feared, the one that seemed impossible, was happening. The fight against hypothermia took on a new meaning. Now they weren't just fighting to live. They were fighting to wait. Wait for what? Rescue or the end of the world? They crouched behind a mountain of frozen chicken boxes. He was shaking so hard he looked like a broken machine. Avi, I can't feel my feet anymore. But their bodies were demanding rest. Their metabolism was slowing. Fatigue became a sweet, inviting fog. Avi looked at his coworker. His skin was pale, almost gray. Avi thought of his wife, his children. Were they safe? No one knew what was happening. The silence of the freezer was a cruel luxury. My daughter. Her birthday is next week, Avi said, his voice almost a whisper, no longer able to shiver. A still body was the most dangerous sign of advanced hypothermia. Omar laughed a dry, strange sound. I was going to quit today, you know. I was going to open a snack bar with my cousin. Avi squeezed his hand. Omar's hand felt like a block of ice. We're not going to die, Avi lied, knowing it was useless. He felt the cold climbing up his neck, tightening his throat. His mind was foggy, images of his family blending with shelves of frozen meat. Suddenly, the intensity of the noise outside changed. Heavy gunfire gave way to closer shouting, desperate voices. They heard footsteps running outside the freezer, in the concrete corridor. Many footsteps. Avi spent his last drop of energy. He punched the metal wall. Help! We're in here! Omar joined in, kicking the steel with the sole of his shoe. The noise was a weak echo against the screams of the attack. The footsteps stopped. Silence. They held their breath. Was it rescue? Were the attackers searching the building? If it was the attackers, the freezer would be the perfect hiding place and also the final trap. Then they heard a muffled voice from outside. In Hebrew, a shouted command, fast and urgent. Is anyone in there? Answer! Avi tried to shout, but only a groan came out. Yes, trapped. But what awaited them outside was not safety. It was chaos. The ground was littered with debris, thick smoke hung in the air, and the sound of helicopters filled the sky. Their lives had been saved from the cold, only to be delivered into war. As they were pushed away from the freezer, Avi looked back. The door stood open, revealing the cold darkness that had almost claimed them. They had traded one kind of death for another, but at least they were alive. And on that day, being alive was the only victory that mattered.